that covers the bone. Then you have the bone. Then you have the perosteal and meningeal dura mater. Both of those together make up the dura mater, which is super thick, well, relatively super thick. Arachnoid matter, the pia mater.
Between that vein.
Yeah. Yeah, vein. Arteries, yeah. So I do have some sheep brains in the back if you choose to cut one up. And you can see some of these. So you can definitely see the dura mater. And it's kind of hard to distinguish between that arachnoid and the pia mater, but if you look really close, you can tell that something's there to see that one of those two things exists. Then, of course, that brown area of the brain, so that's the gray matter, and then everything below the gray matter is the white matter. The brown area of the brain, so just under the pia mater, they don't have it labeled here, but the brown area, the brownish area along the top of the brain, that's the gray matter, termed as the gray matter. And then everything below the gray matter is white matter. Ventricles, I'm not too worried about those on 288. Just be aware those are there. You do have fluid that flows through there. So you have spaces for it to enter the brain and leave the brain. I did forget to say that the connective tissue that covers the brain, so this thing I just talked about, collectively are called meninges. So if those are inflamed, you get meningitis. So meningitis is, and it's defined on 287. So meningitis is just an inflammation of the covering of the brain, which of course can be deadly. Then last but not least, page 289, cranial nerves. Two things I want you to know for cranial nerves. Well, kind of three things I want you to know for cranial nerves. One, you need to know their name, and you need to know the Roman numeral associated with them. Because a lot of times, so the olfactory nerve is cranial nerve number 1. So a lot of times you'll see that as CN1 or CN2, cranial nerve 1, cranial nerve 2. You won't see olfactory nerve or optic nerve. So know the numbers with them. So olfactory nerve, optic nerve, oculomotor nerve, trochlear nerve, trigeminal nerve, abducens, then on the left-hand side, the facial, vestibulocochlear, glossopharyngeal, vagus, accessory nerve, and hypoglossal nerve.
So you want to be able to point those out too, right?
Yes. And then, when I first say this, you're going to think I'm terribly mean, but I'm not. Generally what they do. So, the olfactory nerve, what is it probably responsible for? Smell. Optic nerve, what is it probably responsible for? Sight. There are several on here that have something to do with eyes or vision. So, the oculomotor nerve is involved with being able to move your eyes. So is the trochlear nerve. So primary motor nerve provides somatic motor fibers to superior oblique muscle that moves the eyeball. So again, eyeball movement for the trochlear nerve. Trigeminal nerve. So it's mixed, but major is sensory nerve of the face. I'm just want you to know the major things. So face sensations. The Abductions is moving the eyeball again.
Are they all like moving in different ways? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Or they all work at the same time?
But you also remember, there's very few systems in your body that's controlled by a single anything. Although there are some.
Some of them might work together.
So some of them would be repetitive. Abductions of the eyeball, facial. So for they're motor fibers. So makes your facial muscles move. So for expressions and things like that. Vestibulocochlear on page 291. So your sense of equilibrium. And hearing.
Is that what vertigo?
It could be, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
No more questions for me.
Glossopharyngeal. So pharyngeal for the pharyngeal muscles. The vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is mostly responsible, as it says, for muscles in the abdomen. So your intestines and things, for those to contract and relax. Smooth muscles, heart and smooth muscles. So remember, your intestines are smooth muscles. Your accessory nerve, you can just know that one as mixed motor function. So it says it goes to the sternocleidomastoid and of the trapezius, but if you just know it's mixed motor, I'll be fine with that. And then the hypoglossal is muscle fibers of the tongue. And that is all, other than page 297, number 1 and 2.
Aaron, let's go to class on Friday.